Okie dokie. So just to quickly go over where we were. So the party had awakened from their net conversions rites, and Laura was kind of talking to everyone, trying to say hi, and trying to go over like how they were feeling after their events. So Inu is like, "Let's go. I love Bushido, and I'm ready to keep going." Bunny is like motivated to continue in their faith. I don't 100% recall Bunny's direct response, but what I do know is Cruel Wrench was shaken up, doesn't really say anything, kind of just hides in the corner, doesn't really want to talk. And then Diogen is just crying and constantly say like, Joffrey, oh my god, I miss you so much, Joffrey. So that's where they go. So there's a good amount of yapping each and every way. And then Alora, goes to the party and she's like, hey, you guys maybe should go to Crow Wrench's area. You can talk in private because Crow Wrench hasn't been saying anything. So they all do. They go to the Crow Wrench's area so they can all talk privately. This is like a cave area with like a little campsite and a tent where Crow Wrench's mother was. Crow Wrench does not say who their mother is or that they even found them. And Crowranch does not give up any information about their name or any of this. They're very secretive, but essentially what they say is due to recent findings, they want to kill Vicus and then they want to kill PepsiCo because they believe that PepsiCo must die. So I feel like, from what I recall, there wasn't too much of an explanation of why, but Crowranch essentially says, we are now in full kill PepsiCo. So think like Inu was like, what are we doing? Like, what's the difference? Like, what's changed? But Crunch is like, not telling you, but this is what I want to do. So they have a way to talk, and they're able to talk without the influence of other people. So they're able to talk alone, finally. So Crunch has an area where the party can all talk together about their plans. Okay, now we go to the Council of the Gods. Okay, so I'm blocking out Euphelia. So there she is for a quick note. Okay, the Council of the Gods. Bunny is brought here to essentially go. So Eno and Crow Wrench leave. Bunny and Diogen are like stuck up at the top of the oasis, and they essentially get talking. I thought Diogen had left, but he hadn't. So Elora kind of like walks down, try to talk to Bunny to understand like how they're doing and how they're, or talk to Diogen and understand how they're doing and feeling about everything that's going on. Diogen here eventually is like, yeah, I can't believe my dad has been taken by Ignorox and held captive. And Bunny and Elora are like, you met your dad and you didn't talk about it. And then Elora's like, yes, your dad was this. We were told not to like, tell you anything about your dad, but it's crazy to hear that you've learned from it on this excursion on your own. And just she explains kind of Bunny is also blown away. It's like your dad's held captive by Ignorox, so it's like defeat Ignorox from your thing now too. Inu also brought up this idea that the entire party is like super intertwined with demons, but that's just the way it is. But eventually, after this conversation, the party goes to the Council of the Gods. So Diogen is able to listen in, and Bunnies actually meets there. And all of the gods we see are on the bottom, including Toby. Their whole goal is they want to understand what motivates Bunny. Okay, so going from left to right, Pyrax is a bird which caws at Bunny and tries to understand why they are motivated. Verdant is a tree that says that Cruel Wrench is hurting him too much, and he's a little upset that Cruel Wrench is attacking the trees. Valerius is this like justicer god with the balance. She specifically is very focused on getting this kind of information out of Cruel Wrench, or sorry, out of Bunny, and trying to understand why Bunny really does believe what they do. And then Ophelia is the one that's kind of running the organization, but her tone does eventually, although she does, give out this very loving, godly feeling of like motherly affection. Eventually, her tone does shift, and she really wants to understand why Bunny is feels the way they do. And then crazily enough, Bunny really locks in and explains that their conviction comes from this idea that their life is mundane because they have faith and believe in the path they're on. They feel that they have faith in Toby, and they have fully accepted the fact that they are a follower of Toby. They will walk every single step they take as if this is what they are meant to do. They have no second thoughts, and if this path leads them to death, so be it. They have faith in the way of their life, and the fact that they don't muster up too much emotion just believes that this life they have that is amazing. And for some people, they may think that you're willing to, you might not be so dedicated and so believing that you're on the right way. It's mundane to Bunny. This is just They have no thought on their mind of any other life. They are a follower of Toby. This will be their religion, and they will form this path one step at a time, no matter what it takes, and enjoying every step of the way. And everyone's like, "Damn, that's kind of crazy." Didn't think this kind of mundane nature and just relaxed way could actually mean that you are just so motivated and so focused that there's no reason to get super animated or believe anything specific. So pretty great thing from Bunny. Definitely worthy of some inspiration there. And eventually, Bunny kind of asks, "Is there any help I could have with Tempest, the guy that killed, the party all those times back, or killed the Church of Toby all that times back ago?" And they say you can go talk to Ronan for information on Tempest. Besides that, you were able to survive a Time Wizard attack, so you know somewhat of it. But Tempest will still be a formidable foe no matter what they do. So pretty interesting stuff to see. And now finally we have the goat statue. So our good friend Diogen cannot stop dealing about this goat, Joffrey. So they have to make a statue. But first, we're going to start here with saying that Inu's going to talk to Diogo, this guy on the right, who's an archaeologist, and Inu's trying to like really prod him, like, "Do you have any Nen artifacts I can have?" But Diogo has to remind Inu, or I guess kind of explain to Inu that the Neuron star that brought Nen to the world came 500 years ago, and he is kind of more a guy that's like his investigating ancient societies that are far before the Nen artifact. The Nen really came to the Earth. So, Nen came 500 years ago, and it didn't really start becoming a major thing until about 200 years ago when the war started. So, this kind of like weird reminder of the plot to everyone. Big thing is that the Neuron Star was here 500 years ago, and now there's a new Neuron Star. So, it's kind of crazy. Okay. So then Diogen asks for a goat statue on a mountain because he is so sad of Joffrey. This is so much back and forth for too much time. But eventually he draws this image, and Eno has an architect friend look at it, a real life friend has an investigation. He has this chat here on the bottom right. Any incorrect spellings are of my own doing. I assure you, he was eloquent in his way of describing how it was a terrible design. So that pretty much goes there. Eventually, they the party is preparing to leave with this design in hand. A guard talks to Inu about how he's interested in learning Japan. Elora once again urges Diogen to talk to his dad, to talk to his mother, and spend time with his family. She lost her family, and that's what motivated her to join the cloth. And, if he has the time to do so, he shouldn't be nervous of spending more time with them. And then eventually the Joffrey statue is put up with some changes made by Dinu. So that is where we left off. Funny, silly session. So on Wednesday we will continue our D&D adventures.